Hi, this is Ms. Fazone. This is Pre-Calculus, Monday the 15th, and this is Graphing Polynomials. So we've been, on the do nows, we've been practicing factoring, so now we're gonna do a little bit harder ones. Alright, x cubed minus 5x squared minus 4x minus 20. The first thing you want to see is, can you factor this by grouping? Alright? Eventually we're going to be able to factor this even if you can't do grouping, but... So, look at the first two. X cubed, minus 5x squared. Just the first two. What's the GCF? It's x squared. So divide by x squared, and you get x minus 5. Parentheses, x squared on the outside. Then take the second two. Minus 4x minus 20. What's the GCF of those? Negative 4. Divide by negative 4, and you get minus 4 x plus 5. Okay, let's pretend it's minus. Let's make that plus. Sorry. I messed the problem up. That won't happen when you're seeing it for the first time. You get, and now notice you have x minus 5 twice, right? If you have x minus 5 twice, that means you're actually factoring out x minus 5 now. So you have x minus 5, and then what's left over? X squared minus 4. Can you factor x squared minus 4? Yeah, that's difference of two squares. So x minus 5, x plus 2, x minus 2. So that's called factor by grouping. Right? We group the first two, we group the second two. All right, number 2 is also a factor by grouping. It's a little harder though. So we have 3x squared. Can you see what I'm writing? That's the question. 3x squared minus 11x plus 6. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the first two terms, 3 and 6, and multiply them. 3 and 6 is 18. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to 18 and combine to negative 11. So what two numbers multiply to 18 and combine to negative 11? Well, we got 2 times 9 and 3 times 6. Which is it? 2 and 9 gives you 11. They're both negative, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite our negative 11 as with 9 and 2. So I'm going to rewrite my polynomial. 3x squared minus 2x minus 9x plus 6, right? So if you combine those middle two, we didn't change the polynomial at all. So now we're going to do what we just did. Factor by grouping. What's the GCF of the first two? X. Divide by x, and you get x times 3x minus 2. And then take the second two. Negative 9x plus 6. Now, if the first term is negative, you're going to make the GCF negative. Okay? So the GCF is 3, but instead of just regular 3, we're going to do negative 3. Okay? So it's negative 3, and when you divide, you get 3x minus 2. Again, notice these are exactly the same. So we have 3x minus 2, and then what's left over when you take that out? X minus 3. And we just factored. All right? That's about as hard as it gets when it comes to factoring. Number 2 in the do now. Okay? All right. So now let's go back. We're talking about polynomials now. We've graphed parabolas. Now let's see what happens when we're graphing polynomials. So what is the degree of a polynomial? The degree of a polynomial is the highest or greatest exponent of the polynomial. Okay? The degree of a polynomial is whatever its highest exponent is. Okay? So, what is the degree of the following polynomials? So take a second and write down what you think it is. The first one, what's the highest power? The degree is 3. What's the highest power for g of x? 5. It doesn't matter that it's being subtracted. We don't care. It's 5. And h of x, what do you think? It's 4. The highest. Remember, we're not adding anything together. We're not doing anything. We're literally just writing down what's the highest exponent. Okay? All right, so now let's see how we graph a polynomial. All right, first one, x cubed. So what's the first thing we always did when we graphed x squares? Our first thing we always do is just plug numbers in. So let's make a t-chart, x, y. Usually a good place to start is 0. I'm going to do 0, -1, -2, 1, and 2. All right. What's -2 to the third? That's -2 times -2 times -2. That's -8. -1 to the third. -1 times -1 times -1 is -1. 0 to the third is 0. 1 cubed is 1. 2 cubed is 8. Right? So these are the points we're going to plot. -2 up 8. I just lied. Just kidding. -2 down 8. -1, -1. So that's left and down. 0, 0. 1, 1. Over 1, up 1. 2, 8. Over 2, up 8. So a cube looks like this, right? The way I think of it, it actually kind of it's close. It's a little like steeper than a parabola. Like a parabola is like this, right? So a cubic, it's steeper. So imagine it's skinnier. And then because you're not squaring it, you're cubing it, the negatives stay. So then imagine this half like flip down. Can you even see what I'm doing? No, you can't. So this is a parabola. So a cube is just a little skinnier, and then the left side kind of flips down like that. So